blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. New music and chats with bands.
You got it. Keep going.
Someone I really could care for. And then they suddenly appeared before me. Jake and Jamie on the radio show.
This is all everyone's going to get.
Somebody whisper, please rate it. Food turned to gold. It just carries on like that, really.
Well, that was lovely. Did you practice that?
Well, it depends what you mean by practice. I hired a studio for 3 weeks and went along every single day from 9 to 5 and did it there, if that counts as practice.
Depends who was in the room with you, I'll be frank with you.
A vocal coach, the ghost of Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, they were just there, though.
Billie Holiday. Yeah, of course. And a blue moon to check that I was accurately depicting what happened.
Other beers as well are available. We're not just advertising.
No, a blue moon, not a beer. The satellite of a distant planet.
As it looked down on you.
Yeah.
And only you as well. No one else saw it by the sound of it.
Yeah, and then when I looked, the moon had turned to gold.
Oh.
Yeah, incredible stuff.
Oh, lovely. That's
Welcome
really nice.
to Down with Boring. The best podcast produced entirely in the London area. I think that's right.
That's sorry. I thought you were going to be a bit more niche than that.
No, I reckon that's us.
London. The entire of London.
I've just realised as well that Patrick, the producer, isn't in London, so that's not even true, even if it was true. The podcast.
There we go. That's it. Yep. That's all we're getting. Welcome for another fun week.
The only podcast where one of the presenters sings far too much of a very old song at the beginning before introducing anything to do with it.
Yeah. This is the new music focused podcast, everyone.
We need some contrast, right? People need to remember what the old music was like before we
celebrate the new.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
You'll be listening to one of the new tracks and you'll think like, oh, this isn't much cough. And they're like, oh, but it is much better than that all-time classic Rat Pack standard Blue Moon.
That has been sung at me at the start of this all. Yeah, I suppose. It's a good comparison point, I suppose. It's a nice one. But yeah, got a busy show this week. Loads of new music once again. Album from London Grammar.
Can we have an explosion sound effect just to kick us off? Just like here.
Like, pa! Yeah.
Thanks. So that's us. We've got London Grammar is the album. I completely forgot what was happening then. The explosion derailed me entirely. I shouldn't get what I asked for.
We've also got Jess from Coach Party.
Who's
coming down to raise the standards, thankfully, of this show once again.
So we'll be asking all about the after party with her.
Yeah. Look at that. The insights. It really thrives.
And of course, tweets, new music news, a reason to jettison Dave Grohl and Mick Jagger into the sun, and much more.
Yeah.
But first of all, Jamie.
Yes, Jake.
I want to tell you a little story. I was looking for the Dork mailbag, right, for the show.
Right, yeah.
And I opened up my kitchen cupboard to check for where I normally keep it, and it wasn't there. It wasn't in there.
I don't know how you managed to lose this every single week.
No, well, this is the thing, right? I moved some plates, and it was just behind them, so I've got it.
Oh, sweet. Cool, cheers.
Yeah.
Happy days.
So we've got 2 letters in the mailbag this week.
Thank God.
I know. Really breaking the bank this week. So, letter number 1 from the bag, which smells very slightly of cumin, because I had an open spice jar in there,
Was that the only spice you had in there, or is there
no, that was the only one that was open. It's kind of a packet because we use quite a lot of it in the household. So even though it's closed,
do you really?
Even though it's closed, I use it instead of washing. Like a dirt bath that like a rhino has. I use cumin for that to kill any parasites.
It's like sea salt, except it's cumin. Just spray that on.
Basically.
Amazing.
I put it in an empty aerosol can, and I stand on my balcony, and I just spray myself down with it in the morning.
You see, like when they have like paint fights at festivals,
like
and it's all
paint
dusty.
Festival, yeah,
it's that. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, it makes it actually resemble if you go to the south of Spain in the summertime and go to one of their large open squares, and because there hasn't been rain for so long, there's that dust hanging in the air. That's how it feels.
Man, your house sounds great.
Doctors say I'm ruining my lungs.
Yeah. Breathe in.
I thought you were going to say breathe out, then I just breathed in.
Breathe it in.
Thanks, Jamie. I could have died. Anyway, the first letter is from Mark from Reading.
Oh,
and
nice.
He says, "Hi, Dork. What's the best part of every film?"
I like... For me, every film is building up towards that middle moment, isn't it? Where it's like... It's like the moment where the main character realizes, oh no, like this is bad. This is the worst situation. What am I going to do? And then their journey back to the top.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
is starting. I think that's the best moment of a film. The start is always a bit, hit and miss. There's too much pressure on the start of a film, I find.
Yeah,
like,
plus,
give me the
so much
characters.
of the start of the film is laying the table, isn't it? Before the meal actually arrives.
Yeah, I want that moment where you're like, oh, do you know what? I've been having a lovely, lovely film time here. It's really nice. Oh God, what's happened? Can I get back from this? Famously.
I would agree with that, but I'd go one step further and say that the best part of any film is that moment, but when they use a montage. That gets me every time.
Right.
So there's, the beginning where everything's fine or everything's good, and then there's the bit where they reach their lowest ebb, and then the bit where they climb back up to the top. If that's a montage, that gets me. When the music kicks in and you get 2.5 minutes of all these different scenes, and you're like, yeah, that's what you want. Which is why I can never stick at anything, because I feel like it should take me like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you want to learn guitar? It's like, and you're playing. You're like, this fucking sucks. Why isn't there a montage?
So you blame video montages for basically...
No, I blame real life for not having any video montages. I would never blame a montage for anything.
That's what I want in my life.
Any film without a montage is pointless, in my opinion. I'm serious. I could watch 2 hours of collated montages.
Yeah. Just come together. Is it the passage of time is more the thing that you have an issue with here? You want to see some sort of journey, but also you're like, look, we've only got realistically about 25 minutes left of this film. We don't have enough time to do it.
What I like about the montage, actually, the best kind of montage is where the first half is them sucking, right?
Yeah.
And then there's one bit in the middle where they finally get it, and then the second half they're doing really well. Like the perfect example is in Disney's Hercules, where Phil is training him, and he's like, "Rule number 36: use your head." That one,
Yeah, sure.
I feel like I feel like Zero to Hero is playing at that point.
Yes.
He pushed the gladiator, Hercules. He comes in sweet, my favorite flavor. Great stuff.
Welcome again to the new music.
He was a 100.
It is a tune.
He is hero of the week in every Greek opinion poll. You don't get that kind of blanket coverage on your own, You need
that
Phil.
Blanket support. Yeah.
Exactly. So I hope that answers your question, Mark from Reading.
Mark? Calling that his name?
What?
Mark from Reading, if that's your real name.
Well, they just send these in. A cynical person would say that it's suspicious we only get 2 a week. So,
It's a vetting process more than anything.
Is. Yeah.
You should see the stuff we don't let on. It's pure smut.
It's illegal in 37 countries.
Yeah.
And it's a grey area in the rest. The second question that made it through the profiling process,
thank God,
is from Sarah from Broadstairs, who has
from
said...
where?
Broadstairs.
Where's
I believe
Broadstairs?
it might be in Kent. I don't. That's why I paused. I was like, this is a place, isn't it?
I'm sure it's nice.
No, I'm just going to look it up quickly. It's a town in England. on the Isle of Thanet in East Kent.
Oh, wow.
24,903 people lived there in 2011, and one of them, presumably, was Sarah.
And that means that the like percentage, if you will, the population, we can say like what 1/25 of Thanet listens to this show. Is that what we're trying to look at here?
What? There's 25,000 people, and you think one is a fifth of that?
Look, I don't do the maths. I am the maths.
That's the worst maths I've ever heard. Ever.
We're boosting the numbers, all right? Trying to raise it.
So, Sarah Broadstairs says, "Hi, Dork. What instruments would you play in a band?" Interestingly, she's used plural there. So, yeah. I guess, which two would you play at once, Jamie?
Yeah, two at once. I would go bass and saxophone at the same time. I feel like that's quite a stylish move, you know.
It is,
Because obviously I'd wear that with shades and a full suit on, of course. Of course, yeah. I couldn't do it without it. Also, I feel like the bass, you can just kind of like, do your bits in the background, and then when the moment comes, sax.
Slap out the sax.
Exactly, it's in your face. So yeah, I'll go with a bass and a sax.
Okay.
Requires two different things as well, There's fingers and lungs.
Fingers and lungs. But
yeah.
The saxophone, I mean, you'd just be blowing one continuous note, wouldn't you? To be fair, she didn't say, what would you play well? So
Yes. The quality is up in the air, but that should be known by now. What about you, Jake? What two instruments?
I think what I would do is I would play the French horn and the tuba, like in cartoons where they have loads of cigarettes in their mouth at once. But I'd have two big brass instruments in my mouth at once, just puffing away, Might have a cigar in the middle and a tuba on the right and a French horn on the left.
Looking like a walrus, if you will, of the...
Yeah, a walrus with sort of avant-garde surrealist tusks.
That's really putting a lot of pressure on your lungs there.
I'd be dead in days. But,
He hasn't breathed.
As the 1975 once said, it's not living if it's not with tuba.
As they said.
They did.
Thank you for writing in, everyone.
A strong mailbag this week. Thank you both.
Yeah, strong stuff. Really appreciate it. If you have any other questions, of course,
tweet
send
us.
them over.
Send them over on Instagram, probably Facebook. I don't know if anyone's ever been on that in the last 3 years, but
if you are there,
what else have we got? I mean, post. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Shine a signal into the sky.
Jamie, we keep an eye
out. Jamie's address I will post on the Dork Twitter if you want to go and ask him in person.
Right, okay. We'll let that happen. Yeah, sure thing. Stuff's opening up again, so just come and say hi.
Yeah.
Always welcome. Shall I... I'll tell you what is opening up as well. It's music news, Jake.
Oh, yeah.
It's another bumper week of news, happenings, all of the sorts. Let's start with a friend of the show, Oscar Lang, who has announced his debut album. What's Oscar up
to these days? Oh, you already said it.
He's got his debut album! It's all happening! It's called Chew the Scenery, which will come out on 16th of July. Chew the Scenery, Jake. Have you ever chewed any scenery?
Oscar is such a friend of the show that he's written a track on the debut album about the mailbag. Track 7, Write Me a Letter, was written to celebrate the mailbag. And then track 9 is the question all of our guests ask us at the end of our chats, which is, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm starting to get the vibe this could be some sort of concept record, because he's launched, obviously, the news of this album with a track called Stuck. And again, a common bit of feedback.
Impressed, actually. Right, the track list here. Number 1, our feature presentation. Well, that's the show, right?
Yeah.
Number 2, 21st century hobby. You couldn't have done this in the 20th century.
Couldn't do it.
Number 3, I could swear. You can't swear on the radio, but you can swear on the podcast.
Of course.
Number 4, stuck, as you've already explained. Number 5, yeah, which I think is your enthusiasm.
Yes.
With an exclamation mark.
Of
Number
course.
6, headphones. We wear those when we record. 7, write me a letter. 8, intermission. We could probably do with one. 9, are you happy? No. 10, 9:15. The podcast starts at 8 on Dork Radio, so it's still going.
You're really going for this. I really appreciate this.
11, take time out, what people normally do around the tweets of the week, I imagine. Number 12, final call. We have one of those. And number 13, thank you for ending the podcast.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone sell an album so well. As in, you now know everyone.
It's going to be so much
track.
better than the podcast is.
Just want a flag. But yes, a new single, Stuck, is coming with the news. This could be lovely, lovely stuff from Oscar. Big fan of all the EPs so far, and also because he came on the show, we do have some investment there.
Yeah, I think we get 95% of any merchandising around action figurines, don't we?
Yeah, though I haven't seen any models or any talks about the figurines just yet.
Well, they'll be around, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. Come on now, we're going to play the game. Let's have a listen. This is Stuck by Oscar Lang. Wonderful times. Feel warm, feel warm. Let me talk to you quickly, Jake, on some other album news.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
this
I'm
time,
open to it.
Have you heard of a little bit of a pop sensation called Olivia Rodrigo? Did Help
Me Rhonda and Good Vibrations?
Yeah, she did that. Also, probably more well known for Driver's License, but we're close.
Yes,
we're close.
Of course.
Her debut album's called Sour, and it's coming out in May. Not messing about, straight in there. Let's just get straight to it.
I'm into that. Yeah. I can appreciate that.
You like that? I also saw that there was news on Olivia Rodrigo. You won't believe this, Jake. She's only gone and got a driving ticket, if you will. Because I know.
Oh, you couldn't make it up, could you?
City of Los Angeles parking violation. Didn't actually say what happened.
To be fair, a parking violation is what happens when you don't drive.
Right.
Because you're parked.
Right. So it's more of a case you may have parked in the wrong place, if anything.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, a parking ticket is, if anything, an argument that you should have been driving instead of stopped. So,
right,
the driver's license, like, you don't need a driver's license to have a car parked somewhere that it's not allowed to be.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. This makes sense now. It actually took Olivia 4 times to pass her driving test.
I failed mine 4 times, then gave up.
So, Olivia powered through. Well
and that
done,
was
Olivia.
so long ago that I've definitely forgotten everything I ever learned. So good use of money.
And look now. If you had just persevered, you too would have had the biggest song of the year.
I too would have had a parking ticket.
You certainly would have. CS Sour is out May 21st. But you know what's out before then, Jake?
Yeah, I actually was wondering, Jamie, because I've been feeling a bit sort of stressed out recently.
Wow.
And I can't relax unless Win Butler is trying to calm me down. Is there anything that can help me with that? Because he's not returning my calls.
Well, it's going to be really awkward, but Arcade Fire have shown to the rest of the world. They've got a new track. It's called Memories of the Age of Anxiety. But 2 things.
Oh, no, it's just 3 or 4 minutes long. Nice little ditty.
Yeah. Number 1, it's for a meditation and sleep app. So kind of sort of thing you're after there.
I guess so, yeah.
Second one, just quickly, 45 minutes long. That's the issue.
Not a rager then, no.
Not a rage.
Not very sort of pyro, you know?
I guess not. It's got meditative vibes.
What it would do, to be honest, wouldn't it?
To focus and feel
It's
inspired.
not going to be 45 minutes of screaming for a meditation and sleep app, is it?
Yeah, everyone calm down, everyone. The playlist, it's been, obviously, there's a playlist there, obviously, with this app called Headspace. Shout out. It's been curated by John Legend. John Legend's gone,
Oh, absolute legend.
Guys, I need a track. And Arcade Fire went, about 45 minutes.
What I love about this is like the idea that you would be anxious enough or like stressed enough, whatever, to need a well-being app. Which, like, you know, that's a nice thing to have. Like the option. But you've just avoided it until now, and then you're like, well, if Arcade Fire are doing it, then I have trouble sleeping, but I have been lying there awake because I simply refuse to have anything to calm me down that isn't by Arcade Fire.
I've just been staring at my walls. But now we can all sleep in peace. Now, as you can imagine, we're not going to play the 45 minutes.
We could though, couldn't we? And then we just fucking clock out.
Yeah. It's been a good one. We're looking for any excuse. Just play it out.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yes.
But what this app will do is obviously it lets you go to sleep, and then you'll have to wake up by Arcade Fire.
If the children don't grow up, our bodies get bigger, but our hearts get torn up. We're just a million little guys gathered brainstorm, turning every good day to rust. I guess we'll just have to adjust.
Easy. Look at that connection. Perfect. Right?
Yeah, that was quite something.
Yeah.
Now,
seamless.
Jamie, I've got some news for you.
Right.
There was obviously some kind of competition which we weren't made aware of somewhere to write the worst song of all time. And there were some strong entries. I assume that's what that Robbie Williams Christmas one about coronavirus was. But we've worked out the winner.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
It's a track by Mick Jagger with Dave Grohl.
That's a good team up there. That's
it's called Easy Sleazy.
Already concerned by that name. Yeah.
So it's only on YouTube, so we can't actually play it on the show. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna give you a sort of reading of some of the lyrics to give you a sort of vibe.
Track is this?
So if you imagine the kind of track you're expecting from Dave Grohl and Mick Jagger musically. And Mick Jagger's lyrics,
trip hop, of course.
Yeah, famously, yeah. So Mick Jagger comes in, he says, "We took it on the chin. The numbers were so grim, bossed around by pricks. Stiffen upper lips, pacing in the yard. You're trying to take the mick. You must think I'm really thick. Looking at the graphs with a magnifying glass. Cancel all the tours, football's fake applause. No more travel brochures, virtual premieres. I've got nothing left to wear."
What? Why?
Looking out from these prison walls. You gotta rob Peter if you're paying Paul. But it's easy. Everything's gonna get really freaky. All right on the night. Soon it'll be a memory you're trying to remember to forget. This is my favourite verse, actually, the one coming up now. So, listen up. No, Jamie, I'm just going to get through this verse before we have any discussion. That's a pretty mask, but never take a chance. TikTok, stupid dance. Took a samba class, I landed on my arse. Trying to write a tune, you better hook me up to Zoom. See my Ponzi books, teach myself to cook. Way too much TV, it's lobotomizing me. Think I've put on weight, I'll have another drink, then I'll clean the kitchen sink.
smoke. Doesn't even go.
Right, so some things to talk about in this verse. He took a samba class and landed on his ass. I think he has mistaken samba for salsa. Samba is not very acrobatic, as far as I know.
Right.
Isn't it just like hitting thing? Isn't it like a percussive?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person here.
Well,
to
I'm
go to the
pretty sure
dance.
samba's not the kind of thing that you could do wrong and fall over. I don't know.
No. I'm sure you'll be fine. Yeah.
He said he's teaching himself to cook at the age of about 400 years old. Like, how does he not know how to cook? Why would you want to be on Zoom while writing a song? That seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
He thinks he's put on weight, but in the video, he still looks like a literal skeleton. And also, cleaning the kitchen sink doesn't really. I don't think I've ever had to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's never been a task. It's like after you do the washing up, you just give it a quick sponge down.
I like the idea as well that he's got no clothes to wear. And if there's anyone who in the world, I'd imagine, would have ample clothes, it would be the lead singer of the Rolling Stones.
Also, how is that a like COVID specific issue? Like
that's just like washing up.
Virtual premieres, I've got nothing left to wear. It's like, right, so if they were in person, somehow you would. Like, surely, if anything, this makes it easier because you only have to wear a different shirt.
Yeah. You're in the clear, aren't you, at that point? You're not going anywhere. This is why everything needs to reopen quicker, in my opinion.
Shooting the vaccine, Bill Gates is in my bloodstream. This song is so bad. Like, the thing is, I think like Mick Jagger and Dave Grohl, like, you know what I mean? It's not.
They've paid their dues. You know,
it's not serious.
Yeah.
So like, fine, but some of the comments are really like into it.
Like, this is the
Bill Gates is in
song.
my bloodstream. Genius, Jagger.
Genius.
Like, what?
Oh God!
This was great. Just making music and having fun with it. Like, don't encourage them. This is like dancing in the street all over again. Mick Jagger just.
No, you can take that. I mean, I'd take that any day.
Oh yeah, but you know, this is what I mean. This is
where we are.
This is a real low point for music.
Yeah, everyone needs to.
So we can't play that on the show.
We've been banned.
Either technically or morally.
Yeah, we've been told if we do this, there will not be a show next week, which for a lot of you could be a blessing. But
this song is worse than our show.
Yeah. Even
by a long way.
Even we won't go this low.
So
and before anyone goes, come on now, be kind. This is, Mick Jagger is fine. He didn't need to do this, but he did.
I think there's a real thing with sort of criticizing music where it's, are you punching up or down, right? If it's like a new band that released a single that's not very good, like, don't trash it, because they're like in their bedroom, probably not earning any money, just trying to get... Mick Jagger, like, mate, come on. Mick Jagger and Dave Grohl, I literally can't think of two people it's more okay to criticize.
More in the clear.
If Mick Jagger or Dave Grohl ever listened to this show and ever got offended, like, come on, mate, get some perspective.
Let us know. Let us know. Like,
Also, like, if I somehow met Dave Grohl and he said, I heard what you said about that song on the podcast, I would literally just be like, Dave Grohl, you are Dave Grohl. Do you not have better things to do with your time?
I'd also be like, but Dave as well. Come on.
Also,
come on.
Did you hear the lyrics before you did it?
Song?
It feels like he just got you in to play guitar, and then
before you knew it,
then he was there. Like, I imagine they were in the studio, and Dave Grohl does the guitar line, and Mick goes, "Yeah, I love that," and then just starts singing the lyrics, and Dave's there like, "What?"
And you can't back out of it at that point.
Dave's too nice. That's Dave's problem. It's always been Dave's problem.
Yeah. So what are we going to do now, Jake?
Well,
we obviously can't play this.
We were thinking,
for many reasons.
Weren't we, Jamie? We're thinking what events in history are, or what items in history are as bad or worse than this song? And we thought one that was definitely worse was the Berlin Wall.
That's what we went to straight from this, by the way.
Because of the divide between the two sides of the Cold War.
Yes.
The reason that the people that obviously lost their lives trying to cross from east to west, it was a very horrible thing. But it came down eventually, didn't it? The Berlin Wall
it certainly
came down.
did.
So
Yeah.
who was it that contributed to bringing down the Berlin Wall, Jamie?
It was the one and only, obviously, David Hasselhoff.
Of course. Now,
Of course.
if David Hasselhoff, at the peak of his powers, could help bring down the Berlin Wall, even a much diminished Hasselhoff now could maybe help bring down this song, right?
And then on the other side of that, we'll
be
find
freedom.
Yeah, and also Jess from Coach Party.
No, sorry. Still on Hasselhoff at the moment. So we are going to play... We don't often play songs twice, do we, Jamie?
No, we try and keep it...
But this one will cleanse the palate from Mick, and it will be a nice segue into Jess from Coach Party, which is coming up next. So this is David Hasselhoff with Looking for Freedom.
I've been looking for freedom. I've been looking for freedom. Till the search goes on. I've been looking for freedom since I left my hometown. I've been looking for freedom. Still can't be found. I've been looking for freedom. I've been looking so long.
So Jake, music news is done. We've had enough of that. We
It
don't
is.
need any
It's
more.
over.
We don't need any more news. That's enough for 1 week. For the love of God.
That was too much, if anything. What I'd like now is if we could have a celebrity guest on to make things better.
Well, thankfully, we have a celebrity guest on. Jake, we're joined right now by the wonderful, the iconic Jess from Coach Party. Jess, how are we doing? Welcome in. How is
Did
life?
somebody call?
We looked up. We were like looking like
Seamless.
we need someone to bring up the standards of this show once again, and
Thank
we feel
you.
like you can
I'm
do
so
this.
famous. I could hear you trying to keep remembering my surname in the lead up to my name. The very famous, really famous.
You're
The
like
most famous
Cher,
people
you
are
know?
known by exactly Cher, Prince. These are just
Nice.
one name people. Can't think of Madonna.
Yeah, maybe you
Just
can
call
say
me-
things.
Just call me Dua Lipa, and then that will just skyrocket your cred.
Should we just put that on the show? Just,
Yeah.
We're joined by Dua Lipa this week.
I'll take,
We'll just dub
I'll
it
take any
over
response.
after.
Yeah.
We'll just dub it over. But how are things? How are things, Jess? How is life? How is
Yeah.
everything in Camp Coach Party at the moment? How are things?
It's good. We obviously just released After Party, which was amazing. I think we all as a band connected to it way more than Party Food. So really
Yeah.
happy to get that one out. And just going back to normal, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You've announced a huge UK tour, so I can only hope this is going to go ahead at the end of the year.
Yeah, I don't know why we've done that.
24 dates, not messing around there. I rate that you've gone, you know what? We haven't had touring for a while, so let's just, 24. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, our live agent was just like, how can we just weaken your immune system? Let's put you on a tour for a whole month. I was like,
You're
cool,
like,
okay.
thanks.
Yeah.
This is good. And also, I love at that moment, you probably were like, yeah, we just want to play live. It's going to be great. Yeah, month, no problem. And now you're looking like, oh, yeah, that's a lot of shows there. There's a lot
Do you know
going
what?
on.
The peak for me was when he said, you've got a headline gig in Stockton-on-Tees. And I was like, whoa, where's that? Who the fuck's going to come watch us in Stockton-on-Tees?
Yeah, well, I love you. Like, I hope we've got a fan base there. We're gonna find out.
Positive thinking, yeah. Stockton-on-Tees, let me hear you scream.
Yeah. If anyone out there, obviously, anyone from Stockton-on-Tees, obviously, let us know if you're going.
I can only
give us a-
assume we're
give us a call.
massive there, so this should really boost the attendance.
God,
yes, of course.
If
Yes.
Dua Lipa was going to Stockton-on-Tees, she'd sell out.
Well, all I'm saying is we haven't seen any proof that Dua Lipa can sell out in Stockton-on-Tees. So
True.
you will have proof. So I'd argue, technically, doing the maths,
Bigger than
maybe
Dua.
bigger there. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Come on then, Dua, let's fight.
Yeah. Obviously, big listener to the show, Dua Lipa is.
Yeah, Dua, if you are
a
listening,
regular.
we'll be happy to have you on.
Yes. Yeah, Dua, if you were listening, that was Steph, not Jess.
Yeah. Just passing it on, just like, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, sorry.
It was a big one. But I guess, like you say, obviously a big, this kind of like new EP. You talk about obviously connecting with it more. Like, do you? I wonder why. Why is that? What can you see is different? Has this been one that's come together quite quickly in comparison, or like, how do you think the differences are between the two?
So with the first one, we wrote the songs quite a while ago before releasing them. And I remember we actually started to release them before we met our manager. We released one and he completely just said, pull it. Just pull it. You don't know me, but pull it. So we were like, all right, what have we got to lose? And then he amazingly pulled through and we met Chess Club, which was like such a stroke of luck. Yeah, so we released everything on there, which was incredible. But again, we still had the songs for quite a long time, and we'd really just thought by then our writing had changed quite a bit. But then we wrote After Party, and we recorded that in the first lockdown.
Yeah.
So it actually wasn't done too long ago compared to Party Food.
Yeah.
And I know those songs mean more to us lyrically and there's more truth behind them. So I think that is generally how we connect to them more. And the sound, definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. And has it been great seeing, obviously, I guess the reaction as well? Like, obviously from, like you say, obviously over the past year, I guess, in particular, it feels like a lot more people have been drawn to kind of like your music and stuff. How's that been? Kind of seeing that, is that quite a surreal feeling still, just to see people be like, really love this song, really love this band? Are you like, this is interesting, this is odd?
Yeah, it is a little bit mind-blowing because when we went into lockdown we had only played live like 5 times as Coach Party, so I was like, this is really gonna fuck us over. But
we're done for the year. It's over. We tried our best, but we're in real trouble here.
I was like, manager, see you later. Chess Club, see you later. Thanks for the ride.
It was a great few weeks.
We were just so lucky that they stood by us and are still standing by us and believed in it, because it's amazing that we've just managed to sort of form this like base of people that are fans of our music, and I feel like it's too ignorant to call it a fan base. I don't know. Like I said, I'm definitely not famous enough to do that.
So you have like a name for your fans, if you will. So like Lady Gaga has, you'll see what the Little Monsters. You would have the
Stockton on teasers.
Well,
now there we go. Famously,
one of my best friends, she calls me Geese, like that's my nickname, instead of Eastwood. And then we were talking about this, and I was like, "Oh, the fans could be like the yeast infections." And then I was like, "No, we can't do that." She's like, "Maybe we have like a few personal fans." I was like, "Yeah. My little yeast infections, how you doing tonight?" She wants to antibiotics.
Oh my god!
Shout out, everyone!
Yeah. Who wants some fucking cheese? Maybe for Coach Party we could just have like the buses. I don't know,
buses, amazing. Yeah, there we go.
I'm trying to like coin something really cool, but I'm not too sure what it is yet. So maybe the yeast infections.
Maybe the yeast infections, the side project coming soon, everyone.
That's good. Yeah, that's gonna stick now.
Like,
you know.
Yeah, we'll be at Wembley in like 5 years, and people will just be chanting yeast infection, and honestly,
that's the dream, isn't it? That's every band's dream.
To stand out and just hear yeast infection.
Yeah, that's it. You know,
it would be
that's
so
when you know
harrowing.
you've made it.
Yeah.
It would be pretty horrible. But I think it would bond everyone together in a sort of shared trauma, and they'd never leave the fan base. You know,
Yeah, you just get loads of people like, you a yeast infector? Oh, yeah, I am. Are you? God, it's really awful.
Yeah, it's gone bad.
It's really
gone bad.
disgusting to hear.
Yeah. I like the way that it started off. We were like, okay, yeah, that's the name. And it's gone. Actually, no, let's repeat it as much as
Yeah.
Just
possible.
keep saying it.
Yeah. It'll be absolutely fine. You know, I see
You wait till everyone hears this. You wait till all the fucking band hear this. I'm kicked out.
You have to explain yourself, or t-shirts. All I'm saying, you know, every opportunity there, every opportunity.
Or wild card, I just get put on some like antibiotics for yeast infections.
yeah. Well, that might happen just straight away. Just, are you all right? Are you
Are
good?
you
Just like-
riddled?
Yeah.
When you get really big, and you want to announce that you're taking a hiatus, you can be like, "We are on antibiotics for the future." You know, the yeast infection is no
come
more.
down with a yeast. Yeah.
with the cheese.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that one. Thank you.
All right, this is
You're
why
welcome.
we're here. We're here to
Happy
assist.
to help. Yeah.
I
I feel
remember
like
this.
really, really helpful stuff that we've done here.
We've definitely bonded in the way that the yeast fans should. So this is a great guinea pig experiment.
Made it. Oh dear. I see you've got talking of bonding together.
Yeast infections.
No, not quite there. We've got. I see, like, you're ending your tour with a show, obviously in Newport, at a venue called Strings. Now, obviously, if people aren't aware, and I don't know how you would be because it's not like it's mentioned, but you are from the Isle of Wight, the famous
I'm from
islands.
the Isle of Wight. Yeah, we're
Famous
from the Isle
island.
of Wight.
Amazing stuff. How's it going to feel doing that homecoming show at the end of, after all of this, after touring the nation and coming back home? How's it going to feel doing that show? And what can you explain the venue Strings as well? It feels like I feel like on the Isle of Wight there might not be that many music venues, but
yeah. You'd be right in saying that. It's the only one.
It's the only one. There we go. Yeah,
it's the only one.
That was me politely working around it to be like, this is probably the only one, isn't it? Yeah, it's the only one. How's that going to feel? Like, you know, you're touring the UK and then coming back to the island to finish off there. Like that should be a lovely moment, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, banking on like our friends and our families buy tickets, it's going to be really fun. I am definitely excited because we haven't played on the Isle of Wight for maybe 3 years, 2 years maybe. I think since we've like first formed. So yeah, it's going to be really fun, and I think it's going to be a really tiring night just coming home from those, because it's not announced yet, but I think we're playing London Calling after London, so we're flying to Amsterdam the next day. And
then coming back.
Yeah, and obviously I'm going to do some disgraceful things in Amsterdam, so I'm going to be really tired. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Why disgraceful? I mean, see the sights.
Have a
of
delicious
course.
pint of Carlsberg.
Yes, exactly. Enjoy the surroundings, of course. There. Nice.
Yeah,
you'll see it through right to the end, and then on the last night of the tour, you have the return to that moment.
Yeah, I get a sense that we're all just going to kind of let go. We're going to play, and then that is it. We're just going to, because we're not going to have to catch a ferry home for once or stay in a hotel. We're just going to be able to go home. And I'm going to have a bath, whether it's 1 a.m. or 3 a.m. I'm going to have a bath, get rid of my sins, and I know the rest of them probably will.
I love the way you're already picturing the bath afterwards. You're like, to be fair, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
You've done the whole tour.
You excited for the gig? Yeah, I'm going to have a bath after. It's going to be great. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the gig, we're going to be tight as fuck by then, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried about if I've got enough bubble bath to make me really enjoy myself following the gig.
Oh yeah, nice bit of bubble bath. Yeah, we're really excited.
What do you make of bath bombs? Are you a fan of bath bombs, Jess? Like, do you find the bath bombs a bit much?
anything that's like meant to be too much, I completely buy into. So that is bath, and bath bombs is that. Like, I will be that person every time that will throw it into the bath and record it.
Yes,
Like every time, my friend's like, "Oh, she's having a bath again."
Yeah.
Thanks for telling us. But, yeah, I really love it when they like exude like rose petals and stuff. I'm like, ooh,
strong,
okay.
strong. Yeah.
I'm in the bath.
I was given one that was like meant to be like a sweet flavour one. So it was in the design of some sort of cake.
Did you drink the bath, Jamie? Did you drink the bath?
I did think about it. Then I went back on it because I was sitting in the bath at the time, so I thought that'd be a bit weird if I'm just drinking the liquid that is surrounding me. Just a little bit odd. But it's incredible scenes. Shall we have a listen to one of your tracks? It
Sorry,
feels like
was
we
that
should.
the whole story? Just before you were just like, I got a bath bomb once. I thought that was going somewhere.
Yeah, no.
Was that
it was interesting. Yeah. It was just like a little weird cake thing.
It wasn't interesting.
I don't know. I'm into it.
Exactly. We can send this round. Look, I can tell you where it was from and everything. It was a nice little gift. Got a little box and everything. Maybe during this track we can trade, stories, if you will, of bath bombs. We'll have a listen to "I'm Sad," which is taken off the latest EP. So let's have a listen. This is a Coach Party. "I'm Sad." A belter there.
Thank you.
Thank you. A wonderful time indeed. I've got to ask actually very quickly on.
That's very polite. I don't think many of the people we have on say thank you when we say their songs are good. So that's a.
So you're happy just about the thanks. You're like just appreciate. Just.
I don't. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, that's all I needed all this time. I think I'm done. I'm going to retire now.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm modest as fuck.
Like, look, I know, I'm sorry. It's just, it's all right, isn't it?
It's all right. I've got to ask very quickly, just on the Isle of Wight, because we had Lauren Hibbard on not too long ago.
My fucking bitch. Yeah, I love her.
Who means we have a strong Isle of Wight musical connection now on this show.
Yeah.
And just to quickly, she brought up a place called the Checkers, which sounded like the most chaotic place in the world. Some sort of like restaurant, arcade, and mini golf. Is this correct?
It depends what kind of headspace you go into it with. Like, if you're going there for. Like, if I'm going there for a carvery to then play some mini golf and go on the arcades, I'm going to have everything I wanted there.
Yeah.
However, I know what
That's
she's saying.
That's a very specific state of mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Sunday night, you're going back to work, so you need to make the most of the, last evening you have off. But I get what she's saying. Like, it is chaotic. It's just kind of, it's not a restaurant of choice I'd go to. I'm very surprised she brought that one up, if I'm honest. Because when we go out, there's always one place we'll go.
Yes, of course.
So I'm surprised she's.
So that's not the one. Two very different.
We've never been to the Checkers together, and we have been best friends for about 5 years now. So, yeah, honestly baffled.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why she brought it up. She was like, I never get to go to this wonderful place, because no one wants to go. So she was just saying to the world, like, take me to the Checkers.
That girl should be bloody grateful that I take her anywhere. I'm joking.
Also, Jake,
It's me places.
also, Jake, I love. Oh, yeah, how do I get this across through this show, the medium of like one day it'll come
That's
full
how I
circle.
broadcast everything I need in life publicly to the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
sensational! Where do you go? Where do you and Lauren Hibbard go? Do you have a specific location you want to shout out here? Obviously, now that pubs are obviously back open in some degree, is there a certain place?
Well, of course, I'll definitely shout out Peach Vegan Store. Peach Vegan Kitchen and Zero Waste Store, which is our guitarist Steph's shop, and it's amazing.
Nice.
And me and Lauren will go there once a week for a hot chocolate. But yeah, the last time we went out for dinner was probably in October, right before we got locked down.
Nice.
And we went to this place called Gastronomy, which is really good, and just got really drunk and ate burgers. And I think we spent like £100 on cocktails, £100 which we don't have because we're in indie bands. But I think like past drink 2, we were like, fuck it, it's fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
One of us is on the indie list on Spotify.
Yeah.
So it all just kind of went out the window.
Incredible. Well, thankfully, there's been a few months now of in some ways, it was a blessing that you had a few months of not being able to return there. So the cost is spread. The cost is spread at least. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I owe that girl a dinner.
Oh God! Well, you have to let us know where you go. But now is the time for a part of the show that some call great, some call bang average.
Right.
It's time to play a game, and by that, I mean it's time to play Coach Party's After Party.
Oh,
Yes. Really cutting edge journalism once again on this show. Jake, do you want to explain what we're going to do here?
No. You always make me explain it. I refuse this week. This week you have to wade in and try and get across what the fuck we're doing. It's always me, like, it's all me, like, oh yeah, so there's a golden retriever juggling, and I get halfway through and I'm like, why am I explaining this? Why isn't Jamie doing it? So this week,
Jake, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly, Jake. What are you doing, man? Like, you're just falling
I'm
apart.
not doing it. We can sit in silence. I can do this all day.
You just push him back. Well, okay, I'll explain. So what we're doing is very simple. Obviously, because you've named your latest EP, which is out now for everyone to stream and purchase, of course. After an after party, before who'd be better to kind of give us the lowdown on what's good, what is bad to have at an after party. We obviously, for example, already clearly know that a bath is welcome at an after party.
Yeah.
So that's already a clear winner.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else we're going to suggest will top that, but let's find out. So what we're going to do is we're going to name something, and we just want to know, do you reckon it'll be good or bad at an after party, basically?
Okay, and what? This is like from my perspective? Am I like, or is this just like generally?
I think this is from your perspective. What would you like there? Like, is this thing good or bad for you?
Okay, I'll answer on behalf of everyone for sure.
I was about to say, you do claim responsibility for the band, obviously,
I've let them down so
far. So we shall see. Jake, would you like to start in that case, or
I would
are you
love
still
to,
on
Jamie.
strike?
Thanks for offering.
There we go.
No, I'm back. I'm back.
You're
a
back.
masterful explanation, by the way. You should do it more often. You should have more confidence. So,
Yeah, of course.
number one, would a clown making balloon animals improve your after party, or would it put a damper on the evening?
Well, firstly, like, there's only one horror movie in the whole world that terrifies me, and that's it. So it's a no from me. And I know Guy and Steph, who are like Mother and Father Nature. They are really amazing with like their no plastic lifestyle, and balloons are plastic. So I'm
it's
gonna
already
put a big you've got 4 no's.
I could say with confidence.
Wow.
It's a straight.
Okay.
It's a straight no. It's a straight no. I
It's
do
a no
get the
from
point
me.
of the clown in particular being quite an alarming thing at an after party. Do you know what I mean? If you
Yeah,
turn
man,
around,
fuck that. I don't want
So-
that. If I'm like drunk and I turn around and there's some dude in a clown costume, that's gonna really fuck me up. I'm gonna stop swearing. I'm getting rowdy.
What are clowns for? Like, does anyone actually like clowns that isn't a clown?
They are meant
and who
to
decides
be-
to become a clown?
they're meant to be entertainment, but everyone that I know of is either nonplussed or doesn't like them.
Yeah, like I've
Doesn't
never
like
met
'em at
anyone
all.
who's like, "Oh, mate, I love a good clown." Like, great stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Even, I don't think like who chooses to be a clown.
People that don't buy after party.
Exactly. Utter clowns, the lot of
Utter
you.
clowns.
Avoid it. Purchase after
You're not
party.
coming to the party.
Exactly. Dive on in. A strong no there for a clown making balloon animals on all
Thanks,
counts.
Jake.
Not even one part of it was any good. So cheers, Jake. Once and for all.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad I suggested it.
I've got another one for you now. What about someone putting your EP on? Your latest EP, of course, after party. So if you're
yeah, I'd love that. I am so self-absorbed. I would absolutely kill to be 5 pints down and hear someone just smash on after party. Honestly,
and you're just like, it's me. It's
yeah,
me.
of course. I know the rest of the guys as well would act embarrassed, but they wouldn't be. They'd love it. They're all as they're self-absorbed as well, but very secretly. Like I know that
Right. You're
carry
like
it.
I am. Yeah. You're like
Yeah.
I'm ready for this. Like
Yeah,
show me.
Yeah.
Show me this moment, please. And you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's me. Oh no, it's all gonna. Oh, but it is great.
Yeah, we worked hard on that, so that's 4 yeses. 4 yeses from us.
4 yeses at the after party.
Nice.
Would you do
You've
the
got
whole?
4 yeses.
Would you do the whole thing where you would be like, oh, really like this song, and oh wait, it's it's me. It's
I reckon I do like impromptu dancing.
just
That's exactly
stand by
what
the
I do.
speaker. Stand by the
Yeah.
speaker, like this is our moment here.
I'd
This
get
is
in the
it.
bath and put a bath bomb on.
The perfect moment for it as
Yeah.
you play the songs out.
Yeah.
Incredible. On music, very quickly. Are you one of those people who just like wax on like a playlist, for example, or are you someone who kind of like is like, right, let me just pick some songs to play at this after party, or are you someone who just doesn't really care? You're just like, just play, you know, the indie list is there. Let's just whack it on.
No, I think if I know that we're going to be going somewhere and there's like choice of music that I can pick or someone else can pick, I'll create like a playlist. I'll always create a playlist that will benefit everyone.
Strong.
And yeah, I feel like I'm very good at making these playlists for occasions. So not
A
really
curator. A curator.
Yeah, and I think like the indie list is wonderful for maybe like an afternoon drive when you can actually listen to the stuff.
Yeah, you want the bangers later on, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Strong
For
shout.
sure.
Strong shout. Other playlists are available, of course. We need to, butter our bread. We're on Spotify, but we're also on Apple, so we're
Not the BBC.
doing the business. Strong yes though for putting your EP on there. Jake, what next?
So the next one is well, before I get into the next one, Jamie, how would you react to someone putting on our equivalent of an EP at the after party? Just putting on an episode of Down with Boring, letting it play.
Oh, I'd hate it.
How would you feel about
I'd hate
that?
it. Yeah, no, I'd hate that. This isn't exactly getting up for the party, is it? Whereas Coach Party have bangers and it will be up for
No,
the
it's
party.
not very
This is
good. I
not
think
the
it's
party.
the issue.
But it's just my voice. I feel like my voice isn't conducive for a party.
That's true. Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'd listen to it.
What
I'd still
about
get equally as
karaoke?
excited.
how would that be?
Oh yeah. You know what? Speaking of karaoke, let me just like rewind in my brain. So one of the first times So me and Steph will always sort of like sing along to anything. But one of the first times I went out with Lauren when we turned 18, I remember us both getting really drunk and going to a pub, and I don't think she drank, and I didn't realise. So obviously I was like in a different place.
You're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And we did Womanizer on karaoke, and then she left me, and I did it with some other guy who I didn't know. So karaoke, I feel like Joe would say no. I feel like Guy, depending on like what songs we do, there could be a yes in there. And I think Steph and me would be up for some karaoke.
It's a good bit of fun, isn't it? It's a good bit of fun. Do you have a particular karaoke song? I guess in particular, obviously you've talked about Womanizer here, which clearly Lauren was not into. But do you have a go-to? Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Oh God, just like really generic stuff. Like actually, so maybe like anything. Rihanna, anything, yes. Britney, just the queens of pop, anything
Give me
like
the
that.
hits. Give me the hits. Yeah.
We're up for that.
Strong, sensational choice. I've got another one for you now. How do you feel about a photo booth at an after party? Are you someone who dives on in to the photo booth, or are you like, no, I ain't having any of that?
Well, I'm white, so I definitely dive straight into the photo booth.
You're like, I'll have all of this. I'll have all of this. I need this now. You're on the night out. You're like,
I simply must have 16 different photos of me pulling weird faces that I'll never look at again.
And everyone trying to cram into the small box. So like, there's someone whose face is never actually in the shot. It's like just there, like half their head.
Yeah, I think everyone you'd have 4 yeses with that, because Guy is like got a very like photogenic, beautiful face, so he photographed very well. I know if you'd like that, creates memory.
You can't get a bad image.
Yeah, the same with Joe as well. Like they're both very beautiful looking people, so they photograph well. And of course, I don't want to do Steph dirty, but no, I'm joking. Me and her would love it as well. You've got 4 yeses.
Strong.
Yeah.
A good choice.
We'd love that.
Jake, what else do you think we should? What else is at an after party?
What about a selection of exotic birds? How's that?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I was just picking it up
the obvious choice of a selection of exotic birds.
Birds?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Okay. Depends.
Yeah, we're talking parrots. We're talking parakeets. I don't know what else there is.
I think if they were just allowed to like fly free. Yeah.
An ostrich.
If we could just all like live in harmony in that after party and they could fly free, then I'd be totally game for that.
Yeah.
Like if they could have as much as a good time as we did, I'd be up for that. 4 yeses. You've got 4 yeses of that.
Also, you'd always remember that after party. Do you know what I mean? Like, what happens?
I love that you were convincing yourself just halfway through. Like, actually, yeah, we do want that.
Yeah, because then if people don't buy the EP again, they'll remember us as that band that had a party with birds.
To be fair, yeah, fair enough.
So that's you either do something like that, or you get naked on the internet. So
that's the choices.
Yeah.
We're going to go with the exotic birds first, and then we'll see how we progress.
I'm not hot enough to be naked on the internet.
But I can get a load of exotic birds in one room, so
so let's do that.
Let's do that. Amazing. I've got another one for you now, very specific. Talking, how do you feel about if you were in an after party, you turned around the corner, and there was George Clooney making Nespressos? How do you feel about that? Would that bring up the mood? Would it lower the mood? Would it be awkward? Would it be fun?
He's not talking,
How do
by
you
the way.
feel?
He's just really concentrating on making these Nespressos. He's not interacting with you in any way. He's just making them, putting them on the table, and you can take them if you want them.
Then Mr. Clooney can carry on what he's doing, and people can just, get some shots of him, because George Clooney is at our after party. We're doing something right.
Yeah.
And so he can say that, and I won't make him feel awkward at all for doing such a strange thing at somewhere that has birds and bathtubs and karaoke. So he can stay.
I also love the idea that how does that night end? Does he just pack up his Nespresso machine and go and doesn't say anything?
He sleeps underneath the Nespresso cart, curled up like a cat.
Yeah.
That leaves in the morning.
It would be warm because he'd be using it all night.
It's true. It's
Exactly,
true. But
yeah.
naturally, he'd be fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair
Mr.
enough.
Clooney can stay.
Yeah. I think that's a good shout. And also, you kind of could be like, oh, George Clooney was at our after party. Did he say anything?
Yeah.
No, he didn't say anything. But he was there.
We just propped an EP up against his coffee machine. Everything would work in our favour.
Take a picture and you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just think of the content. That's more important. That's more important than anything else. We've got two more. Jake,
We have?
Yes. What last one do you have?
Well, Clooney's there, obviously. He's making his Nespressos, which you can take as and when. But next to him is a much less famous person who you've never met before, who's making an endless supply of Jaeger bombs. Is that a good vibe or a bad vibe?
Oh, good vibe. We love Jaeger.
Shout out to Jaeger.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Other
They have
herbal liqueurs are
actually
available.
they've been really supportive, like real talk. They've been real supportive of our music, and they've helped us out as a band. So I'm fucking down for that. And
so fair play.
Yeah.
So this is it. It's not even just I like the Jaeger bombs. It's like no, actually they've actually been quite good for us. To be fair,
Jaeger, if you're listening, we love you.
yeah. You're like actually, it's been great. Thank you. Actually,
Yeah. Thanks, Jaeger. You've done us some solids.
Exactly. Is there an endless supply of any kind of cocktail or spirit that would not be welcome? Is there one you're like, oh no, I ain't having any of that?
I don't want to contradict what we've just said, but I would not have an espresso martini.
Yeah, I know what you mean. After a while, it's not good for your heart, is it?
No,
Cheers.
and
Clooney's
it's
just
like,
rang. He's crying. Nice one.
God, this is what I didn't want to happen.
Yeah, I didn't want to come on here and damage our reputation to these key people.
Yeah, so unfortunately it'd be the espresso martini for me. It's not my choice. However, I know that maybe a couple of the other guys could have it.
Yeah. I mean, but ultimately, you've stepped up here. You're the one making the choices, so you're like, nah, I ain't having that. If we're gonna pick, we're gonna
it's
pick.
our after party.
Exactly. And speaking, and for the fact that it's your after party, I have one more pick for you to decide whether you'd have this or not. So, I think it's worth bearing in mind. So far, you've said yes to a lot of different things here. It was the clown more than anything that's obviously a straight no. But you've got this room, you've got, exotic birds, George Clooney's there, endless supply Jaeger bombs, karaoke blaring. How do you feel about axe throwing at an after party? Axe throwing.
Throwing.
That yes or a no?
I feel like if it was controlled, and
compared to sorry, pause. Compared to what if someone was just launching them around the place?
Yeah, because you guys don't know what I'm capable of when I've had some Jaeger bombs.
And you're giving an axe.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the rest of everyone 10 Jaeger bombs down. If we can take that was a big number. I'm going to be more realistic.
You've got it there. You've called it.
Yeah, I drink Jaeger.
So I know.
Yeah. I think if there was someone there who was sober, maybe Clooney with his coffee machine. If he was just like also
good
monitoring,
Good shout.
then-
Yeah.
No,
I'd be up
Clooney's
for
doing nothing but
throwing.
coffees. That was a part of his contract, I'm afraid.
well,
He's
then
not
maybe
gonna
one
step
of you
in.
guys can look after it.
Oh, who would you? I'll say who would you trust out of the two of us to look after the axe throwing? Oof,
Do you know
I'm not
what?
sure.
Let's get other Jamie to do it.
Yes. Shout out Jamie
He can do
McMillan, of course. From
Hi, Jamie.
You are now
from
supervising
Dortmund.
some axe throwing.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's decided upon.
Don't let me have one.
There'd be a nice addition, but it'd have to be very controlled. Very
And you'd have to
looked after.
watch out for the birds.
Of course.
Yeah, sorry, just to clarify, this after party now has your EP playing, karaoke, a photo booth, exotic birds, George Clooney in the corner making espressos, an endless supply of Jaeger bombs, and axe throwing.
And a bathtub.
Amazing.
Yeah.
To be fair,
And a
this sounds
bathtub.
great. This
Sounds like a
sounds
fucking
great.
A-list party.
This sounds good. Yeah,
I was going to say, this doesn't really sound like an after party. This just sounds like the party. Like, how
It
good was the
sounds like-
party that this is just the afters?
Well, it's definitely something that would be documented in 10 years on Netflix, because how could you not document this now?
And this will all be happening after
isn't low
your
budget.
homecoming gig in November,
Yeah.
of course.
Honestly, can't
famously.
wait.
Can't wait. Book them all in now. It sounds phenomenal. It sounds phenomenal.
Buzz.
Unfortunately, this now brings an end to our time together, Jess.
Well, I've had a great time.
Well, we've had a real insight into what an after party looks like with Coach Party. I am up for this. I'm
Yeah, me
very,
too.
very happy with
Me
that. So
too.
maybe we will have to head on over later this year. Of course, After Party is out now, the EP.
Yeah.
Buy it, stream it, do all
Buy
of
it,
that.
stream it, get a tattoo, anything that gives us cred.
Get a tattoo. Anything that gives us credit. What we're going to do is we're going to listen to "Everybody Hates Me" off of that EP, and yes, Jess, we will catch you very soon for obviously a wonderful night out. We will grab George Clooney and we'll make sure he's available.
Thanks, guys. Thanks
it's
for
been
having me.
It's been a pleasure. This is "Everybody Hates Me" by Coach Pie.
Everybody hates me. I'm boring and unhappy. I really lack affection. I'm jealous and controlling. Everybody hates me. I always close the doors. The ones that you open, I build walls around them. I'm numb inside. You think I'm the problem?
And there, aboard the coach, heading away from us, is Jess from Coach Party, leaving us
Yes.
bereft, you know?
Yeah, that's it now.
Nothing, I think, can fill the hole left by a guest, but one thing that can try is new music. Don't you agree,
Yeah,
Jamie?
we try to paper over the void and the cracks that are left with the best in new tracks that have come out this
Delicious
week.
paper.
Yeah, that's where we are. Just any sort of paper would be
You know
quite
those
nice.
little ones that you put on, like, fairy cakes when you're a kid, which have, like, Tom and Jerry on?
Yeah. But I would always be concerned by those because I'd be like, do you eat it or not?
Yes, Jamie, famously, you are very discerning about what you eat.
That's what they know me for. That's what they
New
know me for.
music.
Yes, Jake. Do you want to start us off? What's been bubbling around in the world that's grabbed your attention this week?
Well, Jamie, a rapper named Dave, who you may be familiar with,
Yes.
he's back.
Ah, amazing! Happy days. Not messing about.
Yeah, so he's released two surprise tracks, Titanium and Mercury.
Oh.
Yeah. Just as an aside before we go into this, you know, if you Google Dave, I think he's now the top result, that's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Is he actually? So if you
He
just
was
search
last time I
Dave.
checked. If I search Dave,
he
Yeah.
does come up.
he comes up. That's impressive.
Now
Like,
that's
that's
when
how
you
you know
know-
you've made it, right?
Yeah. we all laughed. We said, "Oh, he's picked a real, just Dave. Oh God, you're never going to be able to find him when you search for him." And here we are. He's actually
bigger than
it.
the TV channel.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah.
So yeah, these two new tracks come after a hiatus, kind of. It's sort of a hiatus of solo releases, but he has been on features. He hasn't disappeared, basically.
Yeah, because he obviously had a big, a big. It was 2019. It was 2019. Was it
2018, I think, the album.
Yeah. And then he obviously got a great run of the Mercury Prize, and also the Brits won the best album there as well. So obviously a load of stuff, and his performances as well at these shows as well have went down a storm, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's
really
what. Yeah, I think Dave is kind of stands out not just for the quality of the stuff, but when you see him live, there is a real disparity between some rappers. There seems to be a real divide where some play live and just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And Dave is so good at it and was always so good. I remember seeing him, I think it was at Reading after he'd only released a couple of EPs before the album, and he was already great on stage.
Yeah.
I think it's quite hard to do if you're a rapper because you don't kind of have all the equipment around you that a band would have.
Yeah.
It's just you on a huge stage with a DJ. But yeah, he's
definitely
always been great. And I don't think I've ever met anyone who's seen him and not come away really, really impressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully, if gigs and festivals and that are going ahead, some Dave. Presumably, this is hinting towards a new major release.
Oh, lovely stuff. That'd be nice.
Mercury is kind of a slower, sort of piano-y track, which features someone called Kamal, who I haven't heard before, but is very good. That's the longer of the two, but for me, this is the thing, right? These are two tracks. Mercury is 5.5 minutes long, and Titanium is 2 minutes long. So,
two very different tracks, by the sounds of them.
But Titanium is really the kind of heavy, straightforward rap stuff that Dave's known for, and I think it's such a good track. It's really punchy. It feels exactly the right length. It's got some really fun lines on it as well. But yeah, I remember I listened to this and I was just so happy. When someone's been away for a while from solo stuff and they release 2 tracks, it's like, oh, are these going to be two big return tracks, or are these going to be warm-up tracks? But yeah, I think this is genuinely one of the best songs I've heard by him. And that's a pretty crowded field. Yeah, anyway, this is Titanium by Dave.
Everybody made them a mill, let's play a game of who's still got one. I'm on Rowan Road in my ninja, knock down ginger, let's see who spots one. Fuck. If you wanna run up on me, just do it then. I got 99 problems, going broke ain't one, but a bitch is 2 of them. 22 with a 2.2, just came back from a long vacation. By the time that I'm done, that's a 2.1, I got red bones and I got Asians. Let me land. I got chocolate and I got cravings. I just fly the things in Turks and that shit works cause they put the cakes in. If it weren't me on paddles, I got saddles.
Famously not a cover of a David Guetta song, thank God.
Was it not?
Whoa. What were you just listening? Were you just listening to the same? Oh, well, we're going to have to ask Dave. We're going to get
I just assumed Dave was David Guetta.
I mean, I haven't seen them both in the same place at the same time. So
exactly. Dave Guetta Mercury Prize.
It's not just a pseudonym. It's just kind of yeah. Of course, it makes sense. From one Dave to
another.
Except, it's not
Davy Queen.
yes, as it's known. Baby Queen is back once again with another massive pop banger in Dover Beach. Obviously, it goes without saying, we're fans of Baby Queen over here on the show. We are literally the most played artist of all that we have played. And we've played David Hasselhoff twice, so close second for David.
I don't think anything sums up this show better than Baby Queen and David Hasselhoff both being beloved. multiple play artists.
We go back to every
The
time.
two sides
Yeah,
of
two
the Down with
different-
Boring podcast.
Two different arms here. But this new one from Baby Queen is, a massive pop song. Like, she's kind of she's firing out tracks, relatively quickly. It's every
But they're all
few
so
weeks.
good. It
and they're
seems
all
unfair.
good.
I feel like she recorded all of these over the space of like 2 years before anyone had ever heard of her, because there is no way these are happening in like real time. I don't understand it. Like every new track, I'm like, yeah, that's better than the last one.
That's a really good
The
song.
next one, I'm like, it's better than the last one.
Yeah,
Like-
just when you think it's like, okay, this is great, and it's all going to be really good stuff going forward, and it gets even better. It just kind of blows you away. But yeah, Dover Beach. It's this another. I don't know. You hear a little bit of like the 1975 twinkles at the start. You hear a little bit of that. Real like synth pop kind of vibes, but then like just massive pop choruses. Just another absolute belter from Baby Queen. Just continuing her unstoppable rise, which we are all here and game for. She's also announced some headline shows as well at the end of the year, playing Amira in London. 2 shows.
Yeah, which feels like the last possible chance you will ever have to see her in a venue that isn't huge.
Yeah.
So-
If you want to see Baby Queen in a relatively intimate venue, it's this or nothing. Because I'll be frank, with this form, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. Another stormer from Baby Queen. So let's have a listen. This is Dover Beach by Baby Queen.
I hear a voice over and over, sitting on the beach of Dover. What is happening, oh dear? I keep wishing you were here, and I swear I'm gonna lose it if I keep playing your music. What else is there to do? Everywhere I look, I just see you. It's deep red, my broken dream, my lost breath. The king and queen, the world ends. It's you and me.
Belter from Baby Queen. Dover Queen? Dover Queen? Dover
A
Beach.
belter from Baby Beach with Dover Queen.
It's not fucking going well.
A Dover Queen sounds like some kind of shellfish.
Yeah. I was about to say, or it's like some sort of like milk company.
I think we're thinking of Dover Soul and Dairy Queen, respectively.
There it is.
Maybe
There it
Dover
is.
Queen would be a Dover Soul cooked in some kind of milk, like a chowder.
Well, some kind of milk. Sweet God.
Yeah, that's what chowders are. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Baby Queen there, with Dover Beach. Now, Jamie, if you could collaborate with one living artist, who would it be?
It'd be God. Probably Sting from the Police.
Thanks for clarifying which Sting you meant.
Not the wrestler Sting with the face paint. I haven't heard his voice, the Sting as the wrestler, so maybe.
Yeah, to be fair, imagine if you put in the request for Sting and they were like, yeah, no problem, and then the wrestler just turned up, as confused as you are. No, let me tell you about Rina Sawayama, who has reworked her song Chosen Family to include a cameo from an up-and-coming artist called Elton John.
Right. Just
Just whacking Elton John on there.
Just small,
Yeah.
small fry.
I love latter-day Elton John's championing of new music.
Yeah, he's properly gone for it.
There's all this stuff because he does that Rocket Man
Yes.
thing on Apple, I think it
Yes.
is. And I remember seeing a video of Burna Boy, Afrobeats artist, listening to the radio show where Elton's like playing Burna Boy, and he's just there, and he's just over the moon. He's just there, just like, it's Elton John. It's like Elton John playing my
This
music.
is it, though. Like,
And then he also said that Young Thug, the rapper, was like the best artist of a generation, and they
Incredible.
collaborated. Although basically he just sampled Rocket Man, and now
Incredible.
this as well. And what I love about this one, especially, is there are press photos. So this isn't a case of
Amazing.
like Elton's gone, I love that new track by
send over,
Rina.
send it over.
I'll send over a bit. We can work it in. No, they've done a press shoot, and the press shoot, she's sort of cradling his head like he is her like granddad or something.
Just holding it upright.
Yeah. It actually looks sort of like a Weekend at Bernie's thing because he's got these dark glasses
shades,
on and she's holding his head up. It's like.
Like, is everything all right there? Is everything all right? I rate it. This is the supergroup we didn't know that we needed. I think this is.
I think if I could choose my family, Elton would be in there.
Yes,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I do rate that he's gone to the state. He's doing obviously like the farewell kind of run now, isn't he? Of like shows and stuff, and he's just gone. Yeah, I just like listening to new music. So yeah, want me to jump on that?
I do really enjoy. It's like, to me, this track and even the one that Young Thug did, which is a bit of a weird one, but like they are both very good. It's not, it's not gimmicky. Like this track isn't like you listen to it and go like, oh my god, there's Elton John. It's like you listen to it, you're like, wow, this really works as a collaboration. Even if Elton John wasn't Elton John, even if it was just a collaboration with an unknown person, it works really, really well. Yeah. So it's not like he's just going out there like willy nilly making like random tracks with people for clout.
Just take my voice, my voice, and just do that. Yeah, and it just kind of continues the rise of Rina as well. I mean, like, the debut album came out last year now. Was it last year? Or was it the year before?
It was last year, I think. Time doesn't mean anything at the moment.
It all blurs into one. But yeah, just kind of like she just continues to get bigger and bigger. It feels, and this is just a cosign, if you will, a real nod to be like, yes, Elton thinks I'm great, so I'm just going to keep.
Yeah, and it feels so like genuine, as you say, like the cosign. It just feels like Elton John has personally. You know what I mean? It's almost like feels like the kind of Twitter DM scenario. It's not one of those ones where it's like the label says because we're on the same label we should do something together, or like someone paid a load of money for an appearance.
It's a lovely one,
It is. And, here it is. It's Chosen Family by Rina Sawayama and Elton John.
Chosen family, so what if we don't look the same? We've been going through the same pain, You are my chosen family.
Do you reckon on his farewell run now that like Rina's going to come out and do this?
I tell you what, the farewell run didn't appeal to me when it was first announced, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, God, would be good to see Elton, wouldn't it?
Was it the biopic that changed your mind?
I didn't actually see that. No, it's just that I think the more I think about Elton John, the more I'm like, the man does have bangers, doesn't he?
Undeniable. It's because he's been around for so long. You go, oh yeah, there he is.
I think what put me off Elton when I was younger was that I was mainly familiar with him because of Candle in the Wind.
Right, yeah.
And so to me, I was like, he's some weird like legacy act that like loves the royal family, maybe. But then you actually like look into anything to do with him or listen to him. You're like, no, not.
Oh, that. Actually, Crocodile Rock, very different, very different. Very different. Yeah. Wonderful stuff. I've got one more for you, Jake.
Oh, that's exciting. That fits the template.
Thank the Lord, but also thank the Lord for another new one from Girl in Red, who has a new track called "You Stupid Bitch."
Oh my!
It's quite a lot. But it's another track coming from her debut album, which is out from the 30th of April. And this song, there's like multiple sides, it feels, to like Girl in Red in terms of her music. Like some of the stuff you heard right at the start when stuff first came out was like, Bad Idea, tracks like that had this kind of like heavier kind of like rock influence, I guess. And we've heard that a little bit on tracks we've heard so far from the album. But You Stupid Bitch, it feels like is the proper, I don't know, like perfect, just like absolute storming banger that we've kind of heard before, but this is like beefed up to new levels. And I really, really like it. It just purely like runs away, and it's just more excitement building for this album, which is out in like a couple of weeks now. Oh, it's happening! Time flies, don't we?
It does feel like we mention albums coming out every week, and then nothing ever seems to come out. I feel like in a few weeks we're just going to have like 18 albums in a week.
Yeah, we're going to run out. We're going to do that thing again where we always go, "Oh, sorry, sorry to X, Y, and Z. There's actually too many albums coming out this week. I'm really sorry about that." But yeah, this is a belter. Big fan of this. Big fan of Girl in Red, and really, 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 really good. So this is "You Stupid Bitch" by Girl in Red.
Just count to 10 and try to breathe. You stupid bitch. Can't you see the perfect one for you is me? The perfect one for you is me. The perfect one for you is me. You stupid bitch. Can't you see the perfect one for you is me?
Oh, Stormer.
Yeah, that song's about you. None of the lyrics, just the title.
Album of the week, everyone. Our album this week that we're looking at is by London Grammar, Californian Soil, which is
California Love.
I don't think it's that.
Californication.
Have you checked to see if there's a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover on?
Hotel California. They could do a whole album just covering songs that mention California in the title.
Maybe that's like the next step.
California.
No, not doing that.
Knows how to party.
To be fair, though, this third album from London Grammar.
Now, let me welcome everybody to the Wild, Wild West. A state that's untouchable like Elliot Ness.
Yeah, clearly an
The
influence.
beat hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest.
Like a
London
slug?
Grammar. Yeah, like a
slug?
shotgun slug.
Sorry, I thought you meant like animal. Just thrown
Well, I
at
didn't
someone.
write the song.
California
It's not
Soil.
Tupac featuring Jake Hawkes.
You kept that on the download.
I think I was about 1 year old when that song came out.
Inspiration. California Soul by London Grammar. Third album from London Grammar. London Grammar, it feels like, have a defined sound. They're one of those bands who, especially on that first album, kind of became this sensation, and it came out around a time where there was some other kind of music, that kind of more somber, kind of cinematic, orchestral in parts. This music that crossed over became obviously massive as well for them. And this album, it feels like they've pushing at the boundaries of that a little bit more, which is great.
Yeah.
And
real music for car adverts.
It's big stuff.
I think the fact that they seem to have an orchestra on retainer now is as good a description as any, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is very sweeping, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. The result, I think, is a really stunning album. With their second album, it felt like there was obviously some growth there, but I think the main, the criticism I think that I saw around was that, it's more of the same. Whereas this, you can tell that they've definitely gone away, expanded kind of like the sound they're doing, but still kind of like maintained what everyone loves about them.
It's very small steps away from what they were doing, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But to me, that criticism of bands where an album comes out, people are like, it is a bit more of the same. It's like, it depends what you're after. Like, if you're looking at every band going like, are they going to like headline a festival and be critically acclaimed for years to come? Fine. But I think with some bands, like, because there isn't anyone else doing what London Grammar does, It's almost like, well, more of the same is good, because like
No one else
it's
can
just
do
it's the third album that sounds
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
If you're an indie band making tracks that sound like every other indie band, like you're one of 1,000 albums someone could listen to.
Exactly.
But like, if you're in the mood for London Grammar, you're not going to really find anyone else that fills that niche, you know?
Yeah, they've kind of mastered it, you know, and I really like this kind of move into slightly more, I don't know, brighter sounds with London Grammar. You know, it feels like, you know, this kind of electronic mixed with like this pop kind of sense is just like, it really stands out on this. And I think this is the sort of album that people will gravitate towards and just really dial into and just love. I think it's a stunning
there's
one.
a really strong kind of ambient edge to it as well. Like, this is the kind of thing that genuinely, I mean, I'm joking about music for car adverts, but like, you could genuinely enjoy this as background music. Like, not in a I'm not listening to it sort of way, but in the actual way that ambient music is designed, where you put it on and it enhances whatever you're doing without getting in the way of it, you know?
Yeah, exactly that. And it's stunning results. Let's have a listen to one such track from the album. This is Lose Your Head by London Grammar.
How do you lose your head?
Yeah, I never really got that
If
line.
you
as
if you
well.
lost your head, would you have lost your head or lost your body?
Ooh. So like, what's the main?
Yeah, what's you?
Yeah.
Because there's more mass in your body, but more intelligence in the head.
I would argue that technically the brain is like you.
Yeah, I would say you've lost your body.
Yeah,
because
you've
if you
lost
lost
your
an
body.
arm, you've lost an arm.
Yeah.
So
That's it. So if you ever do, you know, lose, you know, various elements of your body, just remember that the brain is the real holder here. London Grammar. As we veered way off track, they're also going to be they're kind of like moving up as well in terms of, you know, size of shows coming up, and so you can tell that this momentum and growth that they're kind of like going through. This album is kind of perfect for that. It feels like they are headlining at All Points East in August, one of the dates, and it feels like that's, you know, that late summer night does feel like fits this album to a T.
yeah, I feel like them headlining like All Points East, it makes sense to me, but I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that, because I feel like 4 p.m. them being on, you could just like be sitting there with a beer, enjoying yourself while they're on. Like, they almost wouldn't have to put that much work in. But I think with their headline set, like, they're going to have to do some fun stuff, because they're not exactly poppers, are they? You know. It's not exactly banger after banger.
There's
even
elements
if you know,
of that though. There's elements of that in this
I
album.
think, you know what I mean. Like, it's not going to be high energy all the time. So I am interested to see how they kind of keep it momentum going and keep people focused on it. Because like for me, when I put this album on, like I was just sitting there enjoying the freezing cold April sunshine. What's that all about? Still cold.
Yeah,
crazy.
Come on now.
But yeah, I was sitting there on the sofa and I was like, yeah, this is nice. I enjoy it. But it's a big step from that to being sort of crushed in a field after a few hours standing up and still going for it. So I am interested to see what happens there. I think they'll pull it off. I'm just interested to see how.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's that thing that you said before, though, where it's like there's not many. Well, there's none really other bands doing this sound. There was definitely a time when that debut album came out. There was a few acts that kind of were around in the same, you know, breath. A lot of acts followed as well, with trying to do a similar thing. But I think you know, Hannah's voice in particular is like so so unique and so noticeable, and this kind of like rich sound they build around it means they're pretty, you know, unique and undeniable in that regard. So I think this album, what it does is it continue. If you loved London Grammar before, you're going to love this. There's no question about it. You're going to really enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're at the point where, like, you know, you can tell when they were announced to headline All Points East, everyone just went, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You know, at festival headline and no one bats an eyelid. I mean, I don't think anyone that didn't enjoy London Grammar before, this is what I'm saying about you saying, like, it's definitely a move and that it's not enough of a move that it's going to turn on any new fans, but when you're already comfortably headlining a festival, keeping your current fans happy seems pretty fine, really, doesn't it? Not exactly like they're there like, oh, we need to pull some more people in, otherwise we'll never be able to. Oh, we are already headlining a festival.
It cements their place, doesn't it? And I think you really enjoy it. And it's also one of those things where you can listen through to their back catalogue, and it nicely all ties together. But yeah, it's a really stunning album. Great signs of movement here and there. But yeah,
and I do wonder how they're going to spend that car advert money.
I mean, I hope they get it now. Like, this should be on all the adverts. Like, if they don't get it...
Just think, right, so the new Honda, you know, it's sort of a 4x4, but it's a hybrid, so you don't have to feel bad about the fuel consumption. It's driving around that sort of valley area in California, you know, a few sweeping angles there, you know, from above, from the side, you know, the person in there's driving, they press a button, on come the orchestral strings, not much speaking, you know, it's very classy, it's a very tasteful advert, you know, and then it just comes up, and the man just says, Honda.
Who's
Meatloaf.
Right, yeah. Famously, welcome to 2021. Here's Meatloaf in a car advert. Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. Wonderful stuff. Let's have a listen to another track, shall we? From the album Californian Soul. This is Missing by London Grammar.
On account of your behavior as a savior, you're a real life giver, the one who pays the five and lines out in the kitchen. A real mister with that jacket on, the girls all coking, the ones you've been provoking. Everybody's got their own idea of right and wrong, with arms wide open. Everybody's got their own idea of right and wrong, the ones who get broken. Worry that one day you'll go missing. And who will know?
Oh, magical.
I guess missing is what your head is after the first one.
Yeah, but by missing, that makes it sound like someone's stolen the head.
No, then it would be stolen.
Right. I would say it's misplaced at that point. Or you'd be like, it's fallen off instead of missing.
Are you saying London Grammar have fallen off?
No, their heads are firmly attached. If anything, they're only getting, you know,
right, stop
larger
stalling, Jamie.
I know what's up next.
Come on. Bring me the joy.
Is there any particular style?
Yeah, if you could do it in the style of sort of Frank Sinatra, Rat Pack stuff, that'd be good. Like Blue Moon earlier, you know, let's keep the theme going.
All right. So if you have maybe like a trumpet where it's like, you know, tweets, tweets of the week.
Bum, bum, bum.
When the tweets leaves your fingers in your toes, he'll be tweeting alone on the tweets of the week section, and then we'll all have a lovely time. It's the tweets of the week.
Bravo.
Thank you very much.
Bravo. I don't know if you can hear it, but I am thinking about clapping.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Shall I start off with a tweet this week? I've got one.
No, I'd like to go first, please, Jamie.
Well, go right on through.
Mainly because I know what your one is, and I don't think it can be topped, so I'm going to start with mine.
Go for it.
You know. So this one is from friends of the show, friends of the magazine, Shame.
Of course.
Who have tweeted, King Kong really did ask the question, what if there was a huge monkey?
It does pose many dilemmas, doesn't it? You know, because clearly what the existence of King Kong has proven is that we are unable to deal with a monkey of that size.
We're not unable to deal with it. We just don't really have the infrastructure in place, I think, is the issue. You know, like if you think about a human size compared to the planet, right?
Yeah.
We really could do with being smaller, couldn't we? Then there'd be less problems with overcrowding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If everyone was half the size, you know,
Yeah.
Lovely. But, like, I'm looking around my living room and King Kong just couldn't fit at all.
Yeah.
Not even if you
So-
crammed him in. So, like, if there were lots of King Kongs, I guess one King Kong and the rest would just be Kongs because he's the king. You probably, you few 100,000 and the world's full, I guess.
Yeah.
Plus, you think of the shedding from King Kong. Fucking huge hairs just
Clumps
everywhere.
falling down.
Not even a clump. Each one would be like a fucking, skipping rope, wouldn't it?
It just lands on you.
Yeah.
I mean, I clearly I feel we'll be unable to deal with this situation. We'd have to obviously, prepare. But by huge as well, we're talking like they're all going to be the size of King Kong.
Well, yeah, I mean, how big is a baby Kong?
Isn't that? Is that just a monkey? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, is a gorilla actually just a baby Kong that hasn't eaten enough bamboo yet? What do they eat?
Yeah,
Fruits?
Bamboo. That's right. Yeah.
Also,
bamboo.
I found interesting in Kong Skull Island,
Shout out.
brilliant film.
Yeah.
Other giant monkey films are available. Is that he kills and eats an octopus at one point, and I'm like, gorillas are vegetarian.
just want to clarify.
So that is going to mess up his digestive system.
Can I ask
Raw octopus.
if you had to end up in some sort of brawl between this King Kong or the apes from Planet of the Apes, who would you rather go against out of that?
How many of the apes from Planet of the Apes?
Well, it's like the full force of the Planet of the Apes. It's like, they go as an army.
Yeah, but in the first film, there's about 20, and in the second, there's a few thousand, and, then by the beginning of the original, there's millions of them. So
I would say, let's go with the middle range. There's a few thousand, but they're highly intelligent as well.
Right, and it's just me.
Yes.
Right, so it's just me against King Kong, or it's just me against a few thousand highly intelligent apes?
Yes. Which one
Well,
would
I'll
you go
just
for?
die either way. I know, I tell you what I would do. I think I would go with the Planet of the Apes because in the prequel films, they are shown to be open, by and large, to negotiation. King Kong also can be compassionate, but only when it's a fit woman, I guess. He's nice to the one fit woman, isn't he? But he's squashing all those Marines like bugs.
Yeah, they take one look at you and, you're nothing. You'll be booted out right away, wouldn't you?
What's great about Kong Skull Island is that they have this weird narrative in it where it's like, because it's like the Vietnam War, all the soldiers keep referencing it like it's war, but it never stops being funny because it's just a huge monkey. So there's like these really poignant lines delivered like, I guess he never really came home from the war. Not really. And it's like, it's a giant monkey.
It's just a giant monkey, yeah. It could happen at any time. It doesn't matter.
And then
about
there's
that,
this bit where there's like 2 dead giant monkeys, and this guy's like, I've been in enough wars to recognise a mass grave. And I was like, I could recognise a mass grave. It's in the definition. And this is 2 people, like 2 monkeys. That's not a mass grave. You've got it wrong.
So basically, the world, just answering Shane's kind of point here, the world isn't really prepared for a huge monkey.
I haven't seen the new Kong vs. Godzilla, but I have to heartily recommend to anyone listening to watch Kong Skull Island, because there is a giant stick insect at one point, and it impales a man with a big bamboo leg.
Don't spoil it.
That's not a spoiler. The man doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's one of those films where they introduce you to 20 people, and basically the guy turns to the camera and says, 19 of these people will die, and the only one that won't is the one that's won an Oscar.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So enjoy that film.
Excellent film.
Yeah, wonderful stuff.
Way better than this podcast, and about the same length.
Yeah, unfortunately. God.
You know what, though?
What?
The monkeys in Planet of the Apes, they can talk, can't they? And do sign language and all sorts.
Yeah.
And
They can do it.
King Kong can't, as far as I know.
Oh.
So I think really the main difference is that the apes from Planet of the Apes know the alphabet, and King Kong still doesn't know the alphabet. And here's a song by Shame about that very dilemma.
Who'd have thought? I didn't realise the deep nature of that track in comparison to that. Yeah, truly great.
Now, Jamie, I believe you have a tweet for us?
I certainly do. This one is hot off the press from one Dave Benson Phillips.
Of Gunge fame.
Of Gunge fame. Of
Getting
children's
your
TV.
own back.
Exactly. Kids TV legend, if you will. Just want to add on just very quickly on Dave Benson Phillips. On his Twitter bio, he actually just has his agent's number there. Like phone number, just out there in full.
Interesting fact about Dave Benson Phillips. He did a tour of like student unions at unis, and he would like gunge people, like a club night style thing.
Right. Nice.
He would do a sort of get your own back, but boozy for students.
Oof.
And a good friend of mine was actually employed for a while, going around with Dave Benson Phillips to help with the setup and cleanup of those events.
Oh,
cleaning up the gunge.
Oh God. I mean, that sounds like a good time, but not to clean up.
Yeah, I've never actually asked whether he had any good stories about Dave, or maybe Dave, they never really met.
Yeah.
It's like when you go on tour with Girls Aloud, but you don't see him at all.
Because all those times you've been on tour with Girls Aloud, Jake, of course.
Yeah.
Famously.
Remember, it was a difficult time. Anyway.
Talking of cleanups.
In aisle 2.
Dave Benson Phillips has tweeted, an actor's dilemma in coronavirus times.
An actor, yeah.
On a location film shoot in somebody's house, with the consumption of various drinks, snacks and meals, the call of nature will invariably occur. Number 1 seem acceptable, but what to do about number 2s? What would you do?
Wow.
So
is he aware at all of how COVID spreads?
Does he think it's
because the entire point of a toilet is to hygienically dispose of waste?
Yes.
Like,
so
you know what I mean? Unless he's like hygienic. Shitting in the water supply that people then drink. And even then it would be cholera they'd get, not coronavirus.
I love the idea that he's gone, I don't know what to do here.
What's he doing? Shitting in a bucket and throwing it out the window?
I know what I'll do. I'll go to Twitter, just have a little check, see how everyone's doing. So his concern is that, he may need to, obviously, make a deposit at the lavatory during a shoot at somebody else's house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you've just got to go for it, don't you? I mean, there's nothing. That's the call of nature, as he says.
I think as an adult, you pretty much go out of your way to avoid, doing a shit outside of your own home. But when you have to do it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
So, Dave, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, gunge that toilet.
If you properly get your own back on
Dave Benson Phillip with shit.
Oh God! What I will say is, the dilemma in coronavirus times really threw me about this. There's
no relation to coronavirus there at all. The dilemma itself, I understand, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's almost like saying, now we're in the month of April. Is it okay to do a shit at someone's house?
No, is that in the roadmap? Was it?
I think so. Yeah.
If you have a look through.
Yeah, well, now that shops and outdoor pubs are open, it is okay to do a number 2, but as long as it lasts under 5 minutes. Whereas when the pub's inside's open, then you're allowed to take as long as you want.
Yes, of course, go for it. Obviously, Dave, if you do want to come on the show, it'd be nice to hear from you. So,
I don't. Of all the people, like Dave, if you want to come on the show, we're flattered, but I think we're okay. I think we have to set some level of celebrity, don't we?
Well, tune in next week where we'll have a special guest that I will not reveal to Jake until we turn up. It'll be interesting. Famously, though, Dave, if you've got a real issue with the number 2s, what happens if the 2s become 1?
What, diarrhea?
This is Spice Girls, 2 become 1.
I need some love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to you, baby. I had a little love, now I'm back for more. Wanna make love to you.
ending the show
Yeah, that was a pretty
On a-
wild one.
on
To be
a
honest with you.
on a joke like that. Concerning.
Yes.
But not as concerning as the fact that this show has now been on for nearly a year.
Oh, yeah, creeping up, aren't we? Have you got any predictions for the next week before we go, Jamie?
Yeah, I reckon. Obviously, I don't know if you see. There's some like what's it called, like YouTube boxing happening over the weekend. So I reckon over the week to come, I reckon we'll see maybe some artists move into the boxing game, much in the same vein, and we'll finally get the almighty scrap, which will be Elton John pulling on the gloves and going toe to toe with Michael Caine, actually. So,
Wow.
I can't wait for that.
I mean, Michael Caine would just die, wouldn't he? The man's
dunno.
like 400 years old.
Yeah, but he's a bit more agile than Elton, is what I'm saying.
I beg you, Elton, please.
Please.
Not the face. Acting is my profession, and I need it to live.
He's a geezer, though. I reckon he's,
Doesn't matter if he's
done
a
some
geezer.
business. I
A
reckon he's done
light
some business.
breeze would put him on his knees.
But we'll see in the week ahead. Jake, what about you? What do you think? You got any predictions?
I think that Flavor Flav of Public Enemy will finally go digital. So he'll have a big
What do you
sort of
mean?
big Casio watch round his neck instead of the old clock.
I thought you meant he'll sell him as like an NFT.
Flavor Flav will be an NFT.
Yeah. We all will become NFTs eventually. It's not a matter of when; it's a matter of how.
Hmm.
And
Well, on that
Painful.
note, that's pretty much it for another week, I think, isn't it, Jamie?
yeah.
So join us next week for more of this. And just a quick one before we go. Recycling is actually done a lot of the time on weight. So that's why things like bottle caps aren't recyclable, because it's not financially viable to do so. So if you're recycling tin foil, it's quite good to leave it all until you've got a ball about the size of a tennis ball and then throw that in the recycling, because it's much more likely to get picked up and recycled.